Hello, accelerators. It's Diane Spadola, and it's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. It is the end of the fourth week of our marketing challenge 21 in 22. And what I want to do today, it seems like we've developed this pattern of dealing with LinkedIn as a social media platform and a way to communicate your message to your audience. It seems like we do that on Fridays. And when I start to look back, I realize that my habit of linking out on LinkedIn does take place on Friday, but I'll be honest with you, it also takes place on Monday and Wednesday. So, but for today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this notion of positioning yourself as an expert so that your connections on LinkedIn can start to feel your expertise and you can build your credibility. Because the bottom line is people don't buy from companies, they buy from people. And they want to buy from people who have the expertise that will help them solve the problem that they have. So, regardless of what your industry is, you help others solve a problem. So, think about what that problem is. It's not necessarily, I need my taxes done. Okay. That might be a problem for a CPA, but that's not what the real problem is. The real problem is they want to make sure that they can support their family now and into the future. So, and also maintain, stay out of hot water with the IRS, something that's crucially important to everybody these days. So, let me talk to you today about another way that you can position yourself as an expert by using LinkedIn. So to review what we did this week, at the very beginning of the week, we created an example of how we had benefited a client. So this is the framework. A person hired me to do XYZ. I helped them by my signature program, my incredible skill set, my years of experience doing blah, blah, blah. And as a result, they lived happily ever after. Now, I want you to fill in the blanks with what's appropriate for your industry. But that client benefit story is what you share when you first meet someone and you say to them, I'm a financial planner that specializes in divorced women. And they go, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. You tell them a little bit more, and then they say, give me an example. And that's when you share your client benefit story. So we also talked a lot about content. This is where the rubber meets the road, okay? Today's world of internet marketing is not about promoting yourself. It's not about hire me, buy from me, look at how great I am, look at how wonderful my products are. It's about sharing your expertise so that people come to you for help in solving their problems. I specifically like 4 types of content. I write a weekly newsletter. It's called Weekly Traction Tips. It's designed to keep you unstuck in your business. And right now, that Weekly Traction Tips, ever since the middle of December, has been focusing on learning new habits. So I'm on, I think, the 8th episode in the series, but you can find that on my blog at accelerateyoursuccessprogram.com. So I like weekly newsletters. I like to write. I like to tell stories. So newsletters are perfect for me. If I wanted to publish a scientific article or something with research behind it, an article would be another way for me to go because I do like to write. Having a free download for anybody that's interested in learning more about me, something that's helpful, a checklist, resource guide, extremely important article that teaches them something really small, that's another form of content. And then the 4th one that I like is having somebody interview you and then posting the video for that interview. So it's like, who are you? What do you do? What makes you different from the other people in your industry? And all of those questions are being asked by somebody, and you're recording the responses as you give them. So an interview works great too. You don't have to have a podcast in order to be interviewed. You could just get on with somebody and go Facebook Live if you wanted, or you could record it and post it later. Day 17 was draft your downloadable freebie. So these were a bunch of examples that I shared, not only from my business, but from other people's businesses. You know, when they ask you for your email, you got to send them something. So when somebody signs up for your newsletter or is looking for more information, or you're trying to grow your list, you need to give something in return for the fact that they gave up their email and permission to contact them. I think the two easiest ones are frequently asked questions for you, somebody in your industry, or the 7 mistakes made when hiring someone like you. Okay? And this is a place where you can actually get into what makes you special, all right? By focusing on those things that, I mean, we all know that there are people that hire people like us and don't hire us, but go to a competitor or go to somebody else or try to do it themselves, which in many cases is worse. So, what are the mistakes that those people make when they didn't choose us to help them solve their problem? Write it all down, and then you can actually make posts, you could make newsletters, and then we went beyond on day 18 to list the 5 or 6 beliefs about what you do. And this is really where you separate yourself from everybody else in your industry or your occupation. Okay? So this is a place where you can be a little controversial. You can put yourself a little bit out there. You definitely want to be opinionated, because if you are exactly the same as everybody in your industry, then that's how people will perceive you. And when things are exactly the same, you become a commodity, just like gasoline. And everybody starts looking for the cheapest price for the skills that you have to offer, because they don't perceive that your delivery of those skills or your expertise is any different from the person across the street or down the block. And now we live in a global environment, so the person that they could take their low-cost business to could be somebody in a completely different country. So differentiate yourself, be unique, be memorable, and make sure that your content is out there helping people before you start selling. Day 19, we did a little bit on social media yesterday. Very big topic, very difficult to get drilled down to a 12-minute video. But I did say that you should determine which is your primary platform and become an expert at that. Okay? You want to post daily, but don't post just for the sake of posting. Make sure you're posting value-added content. Make sure you're helping instead of selling. And make sure that it's a platform that you enjoy being on. Because if it's going to give you all sorts of agita and anxiety, that social media platform is not for you. And then lastly, here we are at day 20. We have one more day to go in our habits challenge. Today is day 20, and you're going to curate some content on LinkedIn. And what that means is that you're going to make some decisions about other things that have been posted on that platform, and you're going to share them with your audience because you believe that the information is newsworthy, helpful, amazing, astounding, entertaining, funny, or moves your occupation industry along. Okay? So it could be anything from trends to helpful hints that somebody in your industry shared. It could be a peer. It could be somebody that is a connection that is doing something completely different than what your occupation is. I just did this for the last half hour, and I went through and I found several things that had been posted by a VA that I met a while ago that was helping her potential clients and anybody else who's a solo business owner or a small business owner or an entrepreneur to Remember important things about business cards, all right? And she shared a resource for how to create a digital business card. She talked about what should be on your business card. So if you want to see the sort of information that I curated today, you can go to my LinkedIn profile and see what I shared. This is the step-by-step. You're going to look through your news feed on your home screen. You're going to find an article that's worth sharing, or a post for that matter. You're going to push the share button underneath that article or post. You're going to add a comment to your audience. Don't just share it. That's like passing it along without touching it. All right. We want you to put your hands on the content, and we want you to say why it's important to the people that you're connected with. So you're going to add a comment with your opinion or why it's important, or what is your take on the author's message. You can clearly go a different direction if that's the way you truly feel. But the important thing is to be authentic, to be realistic, and to get the conversation going. Once you push post, then you're going to keep on scrolling through your news feed, and you're going to wash, rinse, repeat, as they say. So keep on scrolling and do the next article. I like to think of Fridays as good days to curate content because it gives me a whole week of posts to look through. And then Friday is the day that I add my own opinion and pass those things on. So you're going to do the same habit today that I do by curating content on LinkedIn, sharing your opinion about that article or post, and passing it on to your audience. Here's how to find me. We are in the home stretch, and I would sure love to hear if you are getting anything out of this habits challenge. If you are participating, if you're watching, if you think it's a bunch of hokey, I want to hear it. So type it in the comments below. Show me some love if you've got any, and make sure that I have your email address. Don't assume that I do. Send it to me in a direct message so that I can send you this week's playbook from the 21 in 22 challenge. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you, fellow content creator, on Monday.